Congratulations to all those that joined my Bitcoin Street channel. I do believe we are on the doorstep of something maybe a little special here. I don't want to get too carried away, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens with my little model here that I've created. Well, I didn't create, but I observed, and that's where great discoveries come from, through observation. So on my VidVulture channel, that message went out to 35,000 subscribers and only like 200 or so. Well, now about 250. I think I've got about 20 organic subscribers. About 250 people have made it here from my VidVulture channel. That's amazing to me. Now only 3 or 4, 6, 7,000, I guess it was, people actually probably got that message because they decided not to click on those videos to begin with. But still, the message did go out to 35,000 subscribers, and only less than 300 have made it here. So congratulations to you. I do believe you have made a wonderful choice. Now let's get into this. This is my, I call it my waves on support Bitcoin price model for 2021, perhaps 2022. I'm just excited to see what happens. What you see here is the start of this bull run we're on. Over to the left, October, November, December 2020, 2021 here. Let's get so you can see 2021 here. Right about second week of December, I think, is where the support line became relevant. Of course, no one knew it at that time, but here's where it made its first touch, January 27th. I want to explain this to folks real quick. This double diagonal support line here, you could just draw it in as one line if you want. I have the bottom line drawn in on the wicks, the top line drawn in on the bottom of the candles. I originally drew this line here. Let's go to the 1 hour. I originally drew this support line. I do believe this support line is going to be extremely relevant in the next 6 to 9 months. I originally drew it here. Actually, it should be down a touch. I originally drew it right here. This is where the third data point became obvious to me on March 23rd. Okay, on March 24th, Elon Musk tweeted, and I am under the belief that tweet caused a bunch of people to freak out and put in longs, and people probably chased it and jumped in late, and then so the traders that have full command of what they're doing sold right in through here, and then people were probably getting liquidated and probably panic selling, and it went away at 50. I don't think that would have happened. So if a lot of the analysts out there on YouTube aren't drawing this line in right, what they would try to do if they looked at it now, they would try to draw it in from this point here, January 27th, and then their only option would be to go to March 25th because nothing else would make sense. But I don't think a lot of the analysts are aware that what those Elon Musk tweets can do. So I'm just going to totally ignore this dip down to 50,000. I think it would have been 52, 53,000 or so. I could be wrong about that. There was some options activity expiration in there. I'm not sure how all those cogs of the wheel fit together, but I'm going to ignore it. I'm just going to say that's an outlier. That's an oddity, an anomaly. When you set these lines of resistance and support, technically you need 3 strong data points. And I do believe that this third one, I drew this line in instantly. When it came down and touched it and started going back up again, I drew it here. And look at this. See, I know what's going on. When I change charts, the lines move just a touch. And that's what's going on there. Okay. It's on 1 hour. It's drawn in the exact right spot. But I kind of like it on a bigger time frame. So let's actually go back to the 4 hour. These lines, it's not an exact science. It doesn't need to be. As soon as you realize it doesn't need to be perfect, that's when you start to get good at it. It's like being an artist. Once you just start drawing, do not worry about perfection. It's kind of when you take off. For those of you that have ever tried to draw or paint, let's see here. Let's draw it in here. That's good enough. There's a little leeway in there. It's not an exact science. Like I say, I'm totally ignoring this entire last little dip. Okay, let me get to the point of this video. In a video where I first showed this little pattern developing here, these waves seem to be, as of for now, it's almost a monthly wave. I don't know if those options expirations are in part causing the dips down to the support line. But this support line I was showing, hey, look at it. I got it to expand a little bit. So we would reach 120,000 minimum Bitcoin in the third week of August. That's the support line. We may peak. Who knows where these peaks could go? As of now, these waves, the peaks of these waves are actually diminishing. They're getting a touch smaller every time from measuring from the support line. So maybe the next wave is a little smaller. I went through that in my last video. I'm thinking the next local top around mid-April, second, third week of April is going to be about 74,000. The problem with this though is 70,000 might be a psychological barrier. So like me, I have all these little leverage trades out here. This is how I do it. I set up little dip nets. For those of you who follow along, I don't need to explain. For those of you that are new, you might want to go back and have a look at some of my previous videos. I set up like little dip nets and just purchase the dips in little tiny increments. And here over in the right corner are all my little trades I have set up. So I started buying a little bit high. I don't try to be perfect, like I say. I think it's kind of like a work of art. Just start going with the flow, man. It doesn't need to be perfect. Sometimes indecision is the most costly thing. So I have these all from 61,000 down to 54,000. Some of them are up 7%, 6%, 5%. See all these ones on the green? All going green. And then price of Bitcoin right now is at 58.9. So there's my cutoff. And then all these ones in the red up here, I'm down 4%, 3%, 2%, 3% on some of them. So I'm just almost break even right now. I think the high 59,000s is break even. So point I'm getting to is 70,000 is probably psychological. So I'm a little sketchy on this, getting over 70 this month. It should, but maybe it tops out at 69,000 something, and then we come back down to support line. So I'm still ultra bullish with good news like Apple or some sovereign wealth, countries, entire governments. When countries invest in Bitcoin, Apple invests in Bitcoin, one of these waves off the support line could be enormous. It could go up to 400,000. Something big happens in quarter three, a bunch of big things happen. I still think we could peak out close to $1 million. So it's exciting to see what's going to happen. But I think until huge news comes, the support line is going to be getting touched every month. And so, like, if we do peak up to 400,000 in one of these waves, say in July, this support line would first touch 100,000 in the middle of July, just to make it easy. 100,000, middle of July, support lines at 100,000, give or take the dates a little bit too. Lots of times, the best analysis of data statistics isn't trying to pinpoint stuff. Like a lot of the analysis on YouTube you might watch is people going into, the daily and weekly charts. They zoom in and they're trying to predict what, all the little tiny ups and downs and ups. And it's basically all guesswork, no matter how good anyone is. But when you zoom out, like I'm doing, you start to see the big picture. So let me get back to what I was talking about before I started babbling. 100,000 support line, second week of July. Say the first week of July, or say late June, it had peaked way up to 300,000 or 400,000 for some reason. There is the potential that there could be a 75% correction from, say it was at exactly 400,000. There is potential because this is Bitcoin, for a 75% correction, all the way back down to 100,000, and that would instill fear and panic, and people would just be jumping off Bitcoin. But this support line is something that you will want to watch. This is Kraken. I've noticed that on other sites you can't really draw in the same data points as on Kraken, because these sites all register different. So like a lot of the other sites are real high leverage traders, and I think that alters the true stats. I mean, it's still true stats. That's not the right way to say it. But I think Kraken, in my opinion, is the superior site for Bitcoin trading. And it's also the only legal site to use inside the United States if you live inside the United States. They can only go up to 5 times leverage. Those other sites go up to like 100 times leverage. And I think it's just information and data we probably shouldn't be even considering to begin with. It's unfortunate. But I mean, I'm not totally against high leverage trading. You know, you can do what you want, but I don't want to go off on that tangent. Let's get back to this. What's been happening every month? We're picking up. We're coming down. January 27th, we touched support, peaked up. Second, third week of February, came back down. February 27th, touched support, came back up. Each time we came back, each time we interacted, you know, where we bumped directly off, made contact with support line. Now, see, this is an Elon Musk tweet right here. See how that's that's I'm just ignoring that like it's not even there. January 27th, touch support. We came back down and gray support 4 days later, three or 4 days later. This one I was saying 4. No, 20 from the 28th it would be 3. Let's call it 4 from the 27th to the 31st. Okay, now we came back down February 27th, exact same day of the last month, date, the 27th. Came back fully down, touch support, came back up. No Elon Musk tweet in there, although there is a slight little raise. It's the exact same time. See back here? Look at that. I don't know if options, I'm not exactly sure how the options cog wheel fits into the machine, but there's definitely a little pump in there, isn't there? Anyways, that's not what I'm trying to talk about. So from the 27th, 28th, came back down and grazed support again. 4 days. There's 4 days. Yeah, 4 days. 4 days from the 20th. 5 days from the 27th. Came back up, new all-time high. So new all-time high. Touch support 27th. Came up, little pump. Even if Elon Musk tweets wasn't in there, still came back up. So I just ignore that whole thing there. But came back down, grazed the support line. 4 days later, boom, pump up to all-time new high. Came back down February 27th, 28th, full contact support line. Went nice little bounce back up. Came back down March 4th, March 5th. We'll call it 5 days later. Great support. Came pump back up, all-time new high. Come back down. Full contact with support line. March 20. Let's say March 22nd, March 23rd. Elon Musk tweet. I think it altered this. I don't think this ever would have happened. Not to that extent. It just kind of blows things out of proportion. So when I drew this line, I drew it because it was obviously the third data point needed for these support and resistance lines. There it is right there. Fully interacting with it. And then Elon Musk tweet sent it off, which probably wouldn't have occurred. Let's stop talking about Elon's tweets and get back to the pattern. So if this holds true, is the whole point of this video, how this becomes super useful for you to watch, and why I was congratulating you, because if this plays out, and I'm real excited to see if it does play out. This isn't a guarantee, but it appears to me now. I mean, I called this pump out here perfectly. So, or breaking this, see this resistance line. I caught that perfectly, and now it's behaving in a way. Let me get this line out of here. Actually, we don't need to look at that anymore. It makes it less confusing. That was the resistance line. We don't need to look at that anymore. There'll probably be a new resistance line here in a couple weeks, maybe. But anyways, I'm pretty sure this top support line that I originally drew in there is more true. See how the Bitcoin came back up, and that's not a coincidence right there. See that? I mean, it's just right on it. And that's what I first noticed before that Elon tweet. I mean, just right on it. I mean, look at that. You can't really get much closer. It's not resistance. It's not even support. It's both. It's just, I mean, it's just, it's up and down. It's just, you couldn't be more on that line. It dipped down under the second line here, and that's not really a coincidence either. I think both these lines have relevance, so I'm going to keep them both there. There's a breakout above, and now the top line is definitely support again, just like it has been January and February when it came down, full contact, a pump back up, and 4 or 5 days later, it grazes the support line to an all-time new high. February, full contact with the support line. Comes back up 4 or 5 days later, grazes the top of the support line, pumps to an all-time new high. So I just want to ignore this. It hurts my eyes looking at it. Right now, same time of the month. There's only 28 days in February, so perhaps, I don't know if options is making it do it or not. Maybe that's not going to affect it. But anyways, 27th, 28th of the month, March. Here we are back up on the support line. So what would be happening now if this same pattern holds true? There's 28th, 29th, boom. Just, I mean, it's just picture perfect. The past 2 months, the 28th, 29th, it lifts off the support line. 4 or 5 days later, let's see, there's 31 days in March. 4 or 5 days later, 29, 30, 31, 32, 1, 2. The 1st or 2nd of April, here, Bitcoin, okay, let's just say March 30th, we're at 59,074. Maybe we'll go up just a touch. I think 60,000 is a psychological barrier in itself. I think when we finally break through 60, I think we're going to go straight to at least 63, 64. That's just my opinion based on what I've watched so far. Could be wrong. But if this wave on support holds true, which without huge news, it should. I think it should. I think it's extremely likely. Probably pump up. Maybe we do touch 60, and a lot of the analysis are going to say, "Oh, 60 rejected this." But is that, or is it this pattern that's playing out, or is it both? So the 1st and 2nd for April, I'm looking for it. We might fiddle around with 59, the high 59,000, 60,000. April 1st and April 2nd, I'm looking for Bitcoin to dip back down. This is where this could be extremely valuable information, and why I was congratulating you at the start of the video, because if this is true, this is extremely valuable, and no one else is bringing this information to you. I watch most all those other YouTubers, and they're missing. I think they're missing the boat. I don't think they should be counting. I think this is an outlier, an anomaly. They should be thrown in the trash. This last dip to 50,000. So I'm ignoring it. April 1st, April 2nd, in that ballpark. We're probably going to dip back down. Maybe we come back down into the 57,000s, 58,000s. And then from there, if this pattern holds true, we will gradually take off April 5th, April 6th, April 7th. We'll just kind of gradually kind of bebop along. And then I'll probably all-time new high. I'm calling 74,000. It might maybe we go up and flirt with 80, But with a lot of these leverage traders, like all my trades, and on Kraken, I can only keep my trades open for 28 days. So I will probably sell at 67, 68,000 just so I can make a profit. And then I'm low leverage. Like I'm talking like tiny leverage, like 0.5 to 1.5 leverage. I just need a little juice because I don't have a lot of money. So I'll probably sell. 70,000 will probably be psychological. So maybe the all-time new high is only 68,000, and then we come back down to support. Maybe we crack through 70,000, and maybe 80,000 is the psychological one we can't break. Who knows for sure? But anyways, that doesn't matter. This model, I think, is just going to be it might just be brilliant because, well, I don't know how brilliant it is. It's just observation. But it might be perfect in a sense where you don't worry about being perfect, and then you're perfect. Either way, whatever, regardless of what the all-time new high is going to be, I have this line drawn in here at 72,300. I think 74. I've been saying 74. I don't know exactly why. Just a lot of the things I looked at kind of go into this ballpark. Under 80, above 70, 74. A lot of real good analysts are saying 70, high 70s. But anyways, it's irrelevant really. So middle of April. Get my chart back here. Come on. So let's see, April 4th, come off, and then, but it's going to look something like this. Wherever the all-time high is, I'm thinking middle of April, middle of April. Maybe it pushes into, April 20th, something like that. And then I'm expecting it to come back down. And our magic number is what? About the 27th or 28th. Maybe you take a look and see where the options activity. I think a lot of the popular ones are at 80,000. So maybe we top at 77. That kind of fits in line, I suppose. These psychological barriers that Bitcoin breaks through, it's because of high leverage traders, mainly, or in part of whatever the case is. It's because people sell their leverage and margin positions. That is why, if you wonder why sometimes we can't break through, a round number like 70,000, that's why, because they try to sell first, like I'm going to try to do. I'm going to get out like 68,000, Our magic number seems to be about the 27th of the month. So April 27th, I'm looking for it to come back down and graze this support line, which will be 69,964. Even, you know what? It's going to come back down, and it's probably going to be 70,000. And a lot of the analysts are going to say, oh, 70,000 is our new support, which is true. But why? I mean, it's also a psychological number. And you know what? That might all be playing in to why this pattern I've noticed is true. All the Fibonacci levels and all the psychological levels, I suppose, are probably is what, this whole history of Bitcoin and this bull run is the sum of all those analysis. So maybe what we're seeing here, these waves are the sum of the Fibonacci levels. They are the sum of the high leverage traders getting out, the options expirations. This is the sum of all that activity. So this is getting interesting. In these videos, I'm just kind of talking my way through this because this is something I'm just still developing. That's interesting, isn't it? April 27th is going to be 70,000 on the dot on this support line. Close to the dot. April 28th. 70,000 support line. April 27th, April 28th, April 29th. Towards the end of the April. I think it's going to come back down. It's going to graze. Let's see. 27th. It's going to graze the support line. Or no, wait. No, 27th. 27th is going to come in full contact with the support line, right? And then the little 4 or 5 day push back up, and we come down and graze the support line. Setting up for May. Here's the little graze. May 5th, May 6th is going to start taking off. And then the middle of May, it might have an all-time high of under 90,000, like 87, 89,000, and then come back down. Quiet, you kook. Sorry about the cats. May 27th, May 28th, about 83,000. Full contact with the support line. Pop back up. I wish I could expand this graph a little bit. Where were we? May, and then May, it grazes it and comes back up. Quiet kook, and then May 27th, come back down, make full contact at 82,000. Shut up. Come back up and then graze June, first week of June, we graze it again at 87,000. And then we go to another all-time new high in June of about June. I can't get away from June now. I think June's where we're going to crack 100,000 for the first time. Maybe it happens in May. Who knows how big these waves are going to get or how small they're going to get. So far, they're getting smaller. They're dissipating. And until that pattern breaks, I'm going to say they're going to keep getting smaller. Big news like Apple and governments around the world investing in Bitcoin. I mean, we could see 100,000 Bitcoin at the end of April, you know. In conclusion, what we're looking for is the little bump away. April 4th, April 5th, we're looking to graze a support line at about 58,900. Maybe it's just 59,000. April 7th, April 8th, we're starting our pump to an all-time new high. Somewhere here in April 15th or so, 6th to the 22nd, which would be, 74 just looks good to me. A smaller wave would be 10,000 up from 64. In that ballpark, 74,000. Just for some reason, I drew this line at 72.5, but in that ballpark. And then I'm looking April 27th. Come back down, full contact, 70,000. There it is. I'm excited to see what happens. Thank you for joining, and be sure to tune into my Waves on Support Bitcoin Street price model videos when I release them. I will probably be doing daily updates on this to see where we're at exactly. This is a work in progress. It's not a guarantee. I'm not a financial advisor. Please educate yourself on Bitcoin. That's what Bitcoin's all about, being independent and financially free. So I highly suggest you watch documentaries on Bitcoin and watch other Bitcoin analysts and just get a good real feel for what's going on. And then you can do your own analysis. This is about 4 months of researching for me. I mean, I didn't research anything to see this, but just all the knowledge I've sponged up has allowed me to make this Waves on Support analysis, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. I hope you are too. Don't place any stupid big bets. I'm an extremely small leverage margin investor. I don't really even call it trades. Unfortunately, on Kraken, you can only keep your trades open for 28 days if you live in the United States. You can leave them open for an entire year if you live outside the United States, but I can only leave them open for 28, and so that's why I'm going to be selling at like 67, 68,000 most likely, because I want to get rid of them and then start a new 28-day batch out again. But this Waves on Support model I got here is going to allow me, if it stays true, even in the ballpark, it's going to allow me to learn to not get in too early. I've been getting in too early. You know, I've been buying on the way down. So this next cycle, this next wave that's coming in, I'm going to start buying Instead of buying in here, I'm going to wait another 5 or 6 days, and I'm going to start buying here. See what I'm saying? So this model is going to allow me to do that. That's why I'm so excited, and why I'm so excited for you guys watching that took me seriously over on my other channel. Stay small, stay safe. As far as investing, all right, that's as far as using margin and leverage. Stay small, stay safe. Always stay safe. Quiet. I know you want to be on video. Quiet. As far as just simply investing, I would just be green light go. I have every liquid cent to my name in this. I don't have all my physical assets in it. I have, about as much money as I have wrapped up in Bitcoin. I have in storage units to sell, on eBay and that kind of stuff. But as far as investing goes, green light go, man. Green light go. Be safe. Don't do anything stupid, because a black swan event could come out and Bitcoin could go down to $10,000. The whole stock market could crash. So black swans are possible. This is no guarantee, but on investing, green light go. But it's not a guarantee. I'm not a financial advisor. You could lose money. But for me, just as far as investing, I have everything. Every liquid cent to my name is in Bitcoin. So I have a small position in Ethereum. But anyways, hey, stop me on. I know. You're funny. Great. Okay. As always, thanks for watching.